Are the great songs and singers of the past still with us today? Because of time machines, like Soundies, the original music videos, the historic building where jam sessions were born, and the performers and collectors who helped keep the music alive in archives, in warehouses, even in the Playboy Mansion. Come with me on a musical journey across America and through time on the next episode of Michael Feinstein's American Songbook.
She gets too hungry.
By the 1950s, the classic American songs of the Gershwins, Cole Porter, and Irving Berlin were having to compete with new forms like rock and roll and rhythm and blues. But legendary singers like Frank Sinatra, Rosemary Clooney, and Nat King Cole kept the music alive with new arrangements and fresh interpretations. Join me, Michael Feinstein, for Putting on the Tail Fins, episode 1 of Michael Feinstein's American Songbook.
Is a tramp.
The nation's military families are talking this morning about a proposal to end U.S. fighting in Afghanistan. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta says he wants to speed up the timeline to make that happen. Nanette Sosa reports.
The U.S. military and NATO want to end their combat mission in Afghanistan a year ahead of schedule. The Obama administration had set a deadline of 2014 to end the fighting. But Defense Secretary Leon Panetta says he hopes the mission will shift to a training and advisory role in 2013. President Obama painted an optimistic picture of U.S. progress in Afghanistan during his State of the Union address last month.
The Taliban's momentum has been broken, and some troops in Afghanistan have begun to come home.
But a leaked NATO report has raised concerns about what will happen in Afghanistan once coalition troops pull out. The report suggests the Taliban are confident they'll be ready to take over. NATO is downplaying the significance of the report, but Republican presidential hopeful Mitt Romney slammed Defense Secretary Panetta for publicly revealing U.S. plans to end the combat mission early.
He announced that so the Taliban hears it, the Pakistanis hear it, the Afghan leaders hear it. Why in the world do you go to the people that you're fighting with and tell them the day you're pulling out your troops? It makes absolutely no sense.
U.S. officials say no plans for the mission in Afghanistan will be final until a NATO meeting in May. I'm Nanette Sosa reporting.
The U.S. has been fighting in Afghanistan for more than 10 years, since just after the September 11th terrorist attacks. Panetta told reporters his goal is to end the mission as early as mid-2013. It's one of the bloodiest events in soccer history. At least 79 people are dead and more than 1,000 injured after riots broke out following a match in the Egyptian city of Port Said. Fans stormed into the field as the game ended 3-1 in favor of the home side Al-Masri against their visiting rivals Al-Ahly from Cairo. Supporters from both sides attacked each other and the players with rocks, chairs, and knives. Some people died from stab wounds and others were suffocated trying to escape. As fears rise of further unrest, crowds gathered in Cairo. Some chanted, "Down with military rule." An emergency session of the Egyptian parliament has been called and 3 days of national mourning are underway. We could soon see a spike in beef prices. The Agriculture Department says the nation's cattle herd is the smallest it's been in 60 years. The USDA says there were about 91 million cattle in the U.S. as of January 1st. That's down from nearly 93 million the year before. USA Today reports experts believe recent drought weather in the Southwest is playing a big part in the shortage. These experts say because of the small herd, we could see beef prices shoot up to 5% higher this year. We're just days away from Super Bowl 46, and Americans are on track to spend more than ever on the big game this year. A new survey by the National Retail Federation estimates we'll shell out a record $11 billion. The average game watcher is expected to spend more than $60 on Super Bowl merchandise, clothing, and snacks. The survey estimates 173 million people will watch this Sunday when the New York Giants take on the New England Patriots in Indianapolis. Are you fed up with it costing you money to use your own money? Taking 15 minutes to make some small changes to your accounts could save you big cash in the long run. Karen Kafa has today's Consumer Watch.
By now, extra fees may seem like a fact of your money life.
People are really very keyed into fees nowadays because there are bank fees, there are airline fees, there are cell phone fees, that sort of thing. But there are ways to avoid those.
Kiplinger's Personal Finance has a list of tips in their February issue that you can do in 15 minutes or less. For example, if you're prone to overdraft fees, have your bank link your checking account and a savings account.
They will simply transfer money from the savings account to the checking account. It might cost you $10, maybe as much as $20 to make the transfer, but that's a lot less than the $35 charge for insufficient funds.
If you're grappling with paying federal student loans, give yourself a break. Go to the student loan website myedaccount.com and put your account on automatic debit.
And what you can do is authorize an automatic transfer to pay your student loans, and you get a lower interest rate. 0.25% comes right off your interest rate.
The savings might seem small month to month, but think about what you'll be saving over the course of a year and how that money might be put to better use. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Capa.
Well, it was quite a foggy start to Groundhog's Day today, resulting in many schools operating on a 2-hour delay. But somehow that groundhog still saw his shadow. Danny Taborn joins us now to let us know if it's going to feel like winter or maybe an early spring. Danny?
Well, if you ask me, it feels like it's going to be spring out there, Jesse, as we look for another high tomorrow in the upper 50s. I'll have your complete forecast right after this. Stick with us.
Coming up this week on WVUT's 22 magazine, newly appointed Vincennes Police Chief Dusty Lukey and Fire Chief Gordon Becker outline their vision for their respective departments. Then in our second segment, organizers of the Festival du Mardi Gras will share with us what activities are being planned to celebrate Vincennes' French heritage. Dan Sorrell will also share with